Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, non-binary pals, and the technicolor rainbow in between, this is Modular Media Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Chris Boingo Rider Gaston, and with me, as always, is my tag team in this endeavor.
New Jack is dead! Let's go!
What the fuck? What the
It's all over my desk.
Good. Good. For audio-only listeners, Zach, went full on 2008 meme, put on some sunglasses, popped open a can of, if it was a different thing, I'd call it boomer juice. It's Zoomer juice.
No, this is Gen Z.
It's Zoomer juice. It's Zoomer juice.
Fucking Zoomer juice is what it is, bruh.
Popped open a can of Zoomer juice, and celebrated the death of a man who was kind of an asshole, and then immediately regretted it entirely, because as he drank...
regret nothing. I regret nothing. That is one of the greatest moments of my entire life. Thank you very much.
Didn't it go up your goddamn nose?
No.
It looked... That's what it
None
looked
got
like.
in my nose. None got in my nose. There's a little bit on that got on my desk and some on my floor, but not too bad. Not too bad. But yeah, New Jack, horrible wrestler from ECW and various indie promotions who literally actually hated white people with a racist passion and tried to murder people in the ring multiple times, and never showed any remorse for that shit. Died of a heart attack literal hours before this broadcast.
Didn't he also give someone hepatitis B?
It was the best news I got all fucking day.
Didn't he also give someone hepatitis B?
Yeah, he did. He gave, wasn't it fucking X-Pac he gave hepatitis to?
I think it might be.
Fuck New Jack. All my homies hated New Jack.
New Jack... It's sad to see anyone not get a chance at redemption and become a better person. That's what I'm grieving. Does that make sense?
I can see that. I can kind of see that.
You know?
But, like, I was never, ever a fan of New Jack. All I ever heard about him is the stories and saw the footage of him trying to kill people. So, yeah, I was just like, oh, this is great. Now Hulk Hogan is actually the most scumbag wrestler alive.
Yeah, no, here's the... I'm always an optimist and believe people can redeem themselves and become better people. So, like, anybody... Like, I will always be sad for the fact that anybody like that dies. It's like, oh, well, now they'll never have the chance to actually be worth living, you know? You've proved everyone right that you're a piece of shit. Good job.
Yeah. Congratulations, you lived up to your full potential of being a piece of shit.
Hey.
That's my review of Kamen Rider Ghost, by the way.
Ghost was not that bad.
Just to get in another dig at that show this week. Because fuck Ghost.
I got up to episode, like, 38, and it wasn't that bad.
I watched the whole damn show. It's the Power Rangers Megaforce of Kamen Rider.
Did it, like, fucking botch the landing or something?
I mean, that really depends on how you feel about the core themes of the show. And how it had tackled them up till that point.
Yeah. But anyway, this isn't a Tokusatsu podcast. That's on Tuesdays.
Yeah, and that's going to be really interesting this week, too. I'm not stressed at all. I haven't been doom scrolling at all today.
Yo, but dude, speaking of stress, Bray Wyatt is taking a break from professional wrestling for a bit due to mental health issues.
Yeah, this news came out a couple days ago. Apparently he started his break actually pre-WrestleMania, and he pre-recorded all his like bits leading into Mania, and then the actual Mania match he came back for as like a testing the water sort of thing, and was like, no, I need more time. Um, because apparently he's still really distraught over the death of Brody Lee, which is very understandable
Mhm.
considering how close those two were. And yeah, I don't know. It sucks to hear that Bray's in this kind of condition, and it's as a fan, I'm upset I'm not going to be seeing any more of him for a while, but it's not like I was paying super close attention to him recently anyway. And also, there's the flip side of this, which is WWE gave somebody a mental health break.
Yeah.
That's like super progressive for them.
Yeah.
So,
But it's also WWE, and you can understand like the stress of WWE probably exacerbated some of those mental health issues.
oh, definitely. Yeah.
And I'm not saying this as like, oh, screw WWE. I mean, any high intensity business, any high intensity job you are going to be in will inevitably cause stress.
I mean, it would be that way at my fucking job, and I just work at a warehouse all day.
Yeah, and it's just he is a very high profile person in the company, and he is relied upon to do a lot of very important things in the ring to be a very reliable performer. So that stress mounts up. It's good on them to go like, yo, you know what? You say you need a break, take a fucking break. It's good on them. Kudos
Yeah,
WWE.
yeah, and we wish Bray all the best.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we get to see him again as soon as he is feeling up to snuff and has a good idea for what to do.
Yeah, especially because I think he has a pretty newborn baby. This will probably
Mhm.
be like a good chance to like take some paternity leave and be there for the kid.
Yeah,
So
and like I'm not gonna make a prediction. I'm not gonna say what I think Bray should do, but like if I were in that seat, when I feel ready for it, I would start coming up with like a fiend-based storyline that deals with this grief I've been going through and helps me express it artistically, because that can be a good therapeutic way to deal with it, when you're already in the right mental state to do it, which obviously right now he is not, and he needs the time to get there. And I really sincerely hope he is able to. Also, great example you just pulled out. Everybody, if you haven't listened to David Bowie's final album, it's one of the best albums of all time. Go listen to it.
even if you're not a big fan of Bowie, it is an intense listen because basically it's an entire album of him grieving his own death, of basically like processing it. It's beautiful.
Hmm. Like he literally got his diagnosis and, oh, you'll probably be dead by X date. And he was like, sick, let me go write some music.
Yeah.
And as an artist myself, that's kind of the most badass thing I've ever seen an artist do.
Yep.
Uh,
But that's we wish all the luck to Bray Wyatt and all of his stuff. So why don't we talk about some? It doesn't feel right to call these people indie. They're not indie.
uh,
But you know what I'm
the
saying?
minor leagues?
That feel, but like Minor often associates the idea of like they're directly a feeder system. Evolve is a minor league for WWE.
Hmm.
Impact and Ring of Honor feel like it's weird. Like you get what I'm saying though?
Yeah. It feels disrespectful to say that they're indie or they're minor league, but we don't have another good term for it
It's
because.
a similar idea of like the big dogs in toys are Hasbro and Mattel, and then you have Jazzwares. They make good shit. But they are not top dog. But they're also not an indie toy company.
Yeah, it's like saying, or like Boss Fight Studios or Super 7. That's like saying those guys are indie, when in fact they're two of the highest selling collector merch companies right now.
Exactly. It's just a weird dichotomy of like they're not B plus like you
They're
under,
not the AAA titles.
but they're not like it is a single. It is double A like how video games used to have like double A titles, and then there was a triple A of like, oh, Grand Theft Auto is a triple A game, but then you had Destroy All Humans where you just played an alien and you poked people's butts.
I've never heard of that game. That sounds amazing.
You literally play like a 1950s gray alien coming down to Earth invading, and you have a gun called the Prober, and you like probe
That's fucking
people.
sick. That is fucking sick.
There's a remake on Steam.
I may look into it.
Yeah. But for
But
whatever this term is, hey Vac, why don't you tell me what happened in
Ring Pact of Honor?
Ring Pact of Honor?
Yeah, I'll tell you about Ring Pact of Honor, my favorite promotion. Um, so in Impact, basically this week it was all about shoring up the lineup for the six-man match at Under Siege to qualify for a shot at the Impact World Title. And the full lineup as it stands is Chris Sabin versus Chris Bay versus Sami Callihan versus Matt Cardona versus Trey Miguel versus Moose. And there were a few more qualifying matches this week to get that lineup settled. It was all very, very solid stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing this match when it's all said and done. Because it's just Impact literally going all of our best boys in the ring at the same time. Everybody pay attention to us. And I'm like, all right. Sounds good to me.
Here's our main event. Here's our main event players.
Yeah. And like I always go to him just because he's my special boy, I guess. But Matt Cardona, it's crazy to think that that guy debuted in that company like 5 months ago, and already he's considered one of their main event guys. Like, that's just awesome for him.
That's also a bad TNA habit, because they'd always bring in a WWE guy and immediately hotshot him into the main event scene because, oh, it's WWE, their big name, you know?
Yeah, but when WWE fired him, everybody in the wrestling world that didn't know him as a toy collector considered him a fucking nobody at this point.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, essentially, it is a good version of what they used to do, but also handled very carefully from everything I've seen, because it wasn't like immediately, oh, he's going immediately for the belt. It was, no, he's having his own feud and his own storyline, and he's trying to build himself up here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
But moving on to Ring of Honor, because I did actually watch some Ring of Honor this week, folks. Because they caught my interest with something, and then I ended up just watching something else because it looked interesting to me. But the first thing is that Quinn McKay made her in-ring debut in their women's division against Angelina Love, which they basically did with her a storyline I've wanted to see to introduce a wrestler pretty much since I got into wrestling and noticed how many times wrestlers get put through commentary tables. Now they didn't do it exactly. They didn't do this motivation. I think it was just that she got a bunch of shit talk from people in the women's division and said, all right, well, I'll wrestle then to prove them wrong. But Quinn McKay came in as a commentator, as their female commentator at the desk. And over time, as like different heels in the women's division said, like, oh, you're just here for a paycheck. You used to be a cool wrestler on the indies, but now you're just somebody who sits there and flaps their gum. You suck. She basically said, like, all right, we're having a tournament. I'm in that tournament. I'm gonna debut. I'm gonna do some wrestling. And she had a really solid, really awesome look. Unfortunately, she didn't win the match, but she got a lot of shit in, and it felt like a believable debut because she was going up against one of the company's biggest female heels right now, and the entire time, the whole male commentary staff is at the desk, and they're just going, they're just so happy for their coworker. They're just like, come on, you can do it. We love, like. Even the heel commentator was like, yeah, this is our broadcast partner. I want to see her succeed, even though she's the baby face. And it's like, this is great. This is wonderful. This is wholesome. I like it. So everybody go check out that match if you haven't, especially if you've never heard of Quinn McKay, because I hadn't, and she has a surprisingly great look and in-ring acumen. So seems like somebody to watch out for. And somebody who I have heard of for years and years and years and just never taken a look at before, but they uploaded a new segment with him this week, so I was like, what the hell? Danhausen had a sit-down interview in ring with PCO, just two longtime indie darling weirdos promoing back and forth at each other in order to form a tag team, and it was glorious. Like it's legitimately the closest I've seen wrestling get to TNA Broken Hardy shit since TNA Broken Hardy ended, and I was loving every second of it. There's a bit legitimately where PCO is like, yeah, okay, I'll join up with you, but I want gold and I want power. And Danhausen is like, all right, cool, here you go, and he hands him a gold chain and a car battery.
God damn it.
It's great. Um, and yeah, I've never, like I've said, I've never seen I've seen a little bit of PCO here and there, but I'd never seen any Danhausen before. This is a great first impression for him. Even though the guy's been wrestling for years now, and I'm really excited to see some matches of these two tagging against people. I hope ROH uploads a couple of those as they happen. Um, but yeah, that's everything out of the minor leagues as it were. Shall we get into the slightly bigger news?
I was trying to see something because I could have swore I saw Danhausen do a thing before.
I know he had a tag team slash hilarious promo thing with Brian Danielson in PWG. People always tell me to watch, and I'm like, cool, I will later today, and then I forget.
Because maybe it's a different dude that just does a similar like face paint thing that's not a wrestler.
What are you thinking of? What's in your head right now?
Okay, so there was a cover I saw of an Oingo Boingo song, and the person who orchestrated it looked like Danhausen. So if it's Danhausen, it might be, but like
That would be interesting, though not entirely offbeat for him.
it is not him.
Okay.
It's a different dude in corpse style makeup.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I was wrong. Okay, it's just I had the image in my head. I was like, going, "Is this the right thing? Am I making a wrong connection?" I was. So,
All right. Well, that was a fun tangent.
that's my poor name, the Fun Tangent.
Very good.
I thought we were doing a full frontal scene. Yeah, but what if we did anal today?
Let's just mix it up. Let's keep it fun. Let's get some scat in here.
Scat beam it up, bo. Oh, you thought I meant poop? No, I was talking about the jazz singing style.
And then later, I got to show you this great Twitter account I found. It's called Mud Paws.
And then we'll play some Quake and look at Vor.
Yeah.
There's an enemy in Quake called Vor, I think.
No joke. I discovered Mud Paws through the Wang video yesterday while I was eating dinner.
Oh,
Yeah.
never watch a Wang video during dinner.
I wasn't thinking. I just had my watch later playlist going, and after about 5 minutes, I was like, I've got to fucking skip this.
Don't fucking watch Wang during dinner.
I know that now.
Like, come on.
Also, if this were Twit, that would totally be the episode quote.
Well, we got some AEW news, so why don't I take the first one, because you've been talking about some of the wrestling you watched. So AEW, I'm the host. I'm the one who's orchestrating this bullshit.
I'm too used to hosting shit on this channel.
We're streaming off my computer in beautiful standard definition.
I mean, it does look fine on my end because I've got the stream on my second monitor.
It's just we stream this live. We try to do it every Thursday. this week we couldn't do it on a Thursday because just unforeseen circumstances, so we're doing it on a Friday. That usually means my internet's a little bit more clogged up, so we're streaming in standard definition to make sure it comes out clean.
Yeah, but hey, if all you audio listeners, because we've noticed there's a lot of you, if you wanna watch the show live and maybe interact with us via chat, go subscribe to Modular Media on YouTube and keep an eye out at the end of the week in the evening.
Yeah, but speaking of hyping up and plugging shit, AEW plugged some shit. The fact that they are starting to do a tour, July 7th. They are going to be going out to Miami, then Texas. Don't remember what city in Texas, and then another.
I think one of the Texas, because they're going to two different cities in Texas two
Right.
weeks in a row. I know one of the ones they said was Garland. I don't remember the other one.
Which is Dallas. Garland is like right next to Dallas. Thank you,
Yeah.
8-bit guy. There's a YouTuber I watch in Garland, Texas, and he goes like, "Yeah, no, Dallas is like 30 minutes away." Oh, okay.
Um, but yeah, this makes like I know there are some people who are probably still going to be a bit hesitant about this, but from a corporate perspective, I think AEW has done everything they needed to and played by the rules on this one. They're saying that they're going to stay within state guidelines wherever they go, because it's not just we're going to bounce back and forth between Texas and Florida. They got more dates to announce. They're
Yeah.
going to go to more places.
Honestly, what
The
I would
show in
prefer,
Rochester will still happen. Don't worry.
honestly, what I would prefer is like they do this small tour, go back to Daly's place for like a month, just to go like, okay, is everything good? Do we need to check anything? We give ourselves a few weeks to make sure everything's like running smooth and we know everything's running on. Like they just diagnose and like bug solve. They go like, okay, bop, 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 and then they start touring more regularly.
I would prefer that. However, I won't put it past them not to do that.
True. I'm just saying
Um,
like that's what I would think. I think that would be the smart move to do.
Definitely.
Even in a
Um,
general sense, because then like I wouldn't say like 3 shows and then like 3 shows daily. It's like no, come back to Daly's place like once every other month because it's like a quick like all right,
yeah.
gather around, let's make sure we have all our ducks in a row before we start doing that again.
I mean, let's be honest. At this point, it's firmly established as their Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, and it's a really fun place to be. It just feels really open. It feels really nice.
I'm excited to find out for myself if I can get tickets to Double or Nothing because I'm gonna. I literally talked to my boss today and was like, "So Monday from about 9:50 to 10:15, I'm gonna need to be at this computer and not be bothered. Will that be a problem?" And she's like, "Why?" And I explained, and she was like, "Okay, as long as you get everything done by the end of the day."
Just going by yourself.
No, I'm gonna try and get free tickets.
But
Me and my parents.
yeah, I mean, yeah, why not?
No, no, I'm coming. I'll like if I can. I haven't even talked to him about it yet, but my idea is I would drive down after work on Friday, just fucking all-nighter it down the highway, spend Saturday with Cody, and then we come and pick you up Sunday morning.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. No, it seems fairly reasonable to start touring, especially because it's not like now. It is a little bit more time. It definitely feels like they're also going to go like keep wearing your masks, dumbass. Like
Yeah, they said they're going to comply with guidelines depending on where they're at. So that means if they can do a full crowd, they'll do a full crowd. If they have to do half a crowd or like 20%, they'll do that. But they're going to keep moving around, is what it looks like. And honestly, I'm okay with this because I know there's a lot of people who still aren't comfortable with the idea, but the CDC approved a couple days ago if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask as long as you're not in a big crowd anymore. The like it's kind of topped off. It's kind of bottomed out, whatever that term is supposed to be, but a lot of people are getting vaccinated. I will be fully vaccinated come Monday, because I got my second dose almost 2 weeks ago. Um, and I'm feeling comfortable about things in the States right now, at least. There's some other countries that are pretty ropey at the moment, and I feel really bad for those people. But I think in the States, for the moment, we're okay, and it's fine if wrestling companies want to return to touring and have full crowds if they can.
Yeah, and especially because I have a feeling AEW would be smart about where they pick to go and pick smaller venues.
hmm And I mean, you also got to imagine Mania happened with a half full stadium. They were probably keeping an eye on that. There was just a sold out full crowd UFC show
Hmm.
in Jacksonville. They were probably keeping an eye on that. So I don't think Tony Khan was just like, oh, cool, the CDC said it's cool, we're going to tour again. I think he was probably like looking at charts and shit and doing his whole fucking mathematician thing he's got going on.
Goddamn Tony Khan. But yeah, no, see,
Tony Khan is big brain man.
big brain mode. E.
Yeah.
No, it seems cool. It seems reasonable. AEW also announced. Well, is it official or was it leaked?
No, these are officially announced and they
Okay.
are up for pre-order now. I actually went ahead and put in a pre-order for both of these after work because I had the extra money this
Well,
week.
since you're buying them, boy, tell the people what you bought.
All right, so we have officially revealed now by Jazzwares the AEW Unrivaled Collection Barbed Wire Accessory Pack and Tag Team Championship Toy Belt. And they do call this a toy belt for a reason, because if you look at this compared to the actual belt, that middle plate is a little bit kind of squished, a little bit squeezed in there. It doesn't look bad, it doesn't look unsightly. It's just obviously that's not an exact replica.
It's a
But
toy
it's
belt.
but hey, I don't have the money for official and unofficial replicas, so this is good enough for me. And I kind of want every current AEW championship design. A, because I'm a mark for AEW, and B, because they're all good designs. Shut up.
Yeah, no, all of them. Yeah, we
And I
know the
already
belt
have the
you're
world
we
belt.
know the belt you're thinking about. Yeah, that one too. That one's good.
Yeah. I have the world title already. That's been out for months and months. It looks like, judging by how this is releasing now, it's like they're gonna do one every 6 months. Um, and I'm okay with that. I'm a little miffed because I would like that they go in debut order. They skipped over the women's belt. They have not done the women's belt yet, which was shown first before the tag belts. So I would like after this if they could loop back around and hit the women's belt. And then we were discussing this before the stream. The TNT belt, my initial idea for how to handle that would be you do a thing where like the initial case is the debut version of the belt, and
Red
then
and
like
silk.
a limited quantity of Brody's version of the belt. Um,
Red and gold.
but then you were saying they should just do the current version of the belt and then make those two ringside exclusives. And I do think that's a good idea. I just don't know if that's what Jazzwares would go with, especially Jeremy Padour being in charge of the AEW stuff and loving hyper limited shit as much as he does.
I just think you put the Brody belt out there as Brody belt, like that raises a weird question people might have is like, why are there three different versions of the same belt? Well, wrestling
Mhm.
fans are more in the know and they understand things, and you can go like, oh, here's this version of the belt, this version of the belt, and the general version of the belt that normies would fucking care about.
I mean, I'm sure there are marks out there who would legit go, oh, I'm getting Brody's version of the belt and I'm keeping it in the box and I'm going to get -1 to sign it if I ever see him at an AEW show.
Yeah, there's people who might do that, but I'm just saying it's just more of like it's brand recognition. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then the barbed wire accessory pack, this is the action pack that had leaked a few weeks back. Now it's interesting because this says action pack on the packaging, but Ringside Collectibles here lists it as the barbed wire accessory pack. I imagine that's because they couldn't give it to retailers saying barbed wire for like health and safety standards and whatnot. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, as we were predicting from those blurry images we saw, this is literally just everything from that match between Mox and Omega at the first Full Gear, and I'm kind of here for it. I'm a little miffed that it's $20. The retail price is 19.99, which is the same price as a standard AEW figure. I like given that this is a bunch of accessories in a slightly smaller box, I would have put this at $15 had I had my druthers. But I'm sure there's something out there in toy politics and rising costs of oil and all that that makes this price make sense.
There's also the
Um,
aspect of like it probably makes it easier on retailers of just like, hey, it's basically the same thing as a figure. You can treat it as a figure in your goddamn.
Put it on the same peg as the figures. You don't have to print out a new tag.
But it's also like you don't have to internally itemize it as a different thing. It is just make it a figure.
hmm
And
And then I didn't mention the tag belt is going to be 21.99, which is $2 more than the world belt
does it
is,
come with
which is
two of them?
definite. No, it's just one belt, and it's definitely a rising cost of oil thing because we didn't mention it because it's not relevant to this show, but a couple weeks ago, Hasbro put out a full-on press release saying like, "Hey, oil's getting a little more expensive, and materials in general are getting a little more expensive because of the pandemic. So you're gonna see a price hike across every toy line we do by the end of the year."
Hey, you know what would make a lot more sense to do? You know all that corn that the U.S. government subsidizes. You know we could probably make like goddamn fucking bioplastic out of it, right? Why don't we
Yeah.
make like come on? That's what
No, 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 no. Boingo, 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 boingo. As John Hasbro, I can tell you that the most environmentally effective thing we could do is just put more cardboard in our boxes and less plastic. That makes us way more environmentally friendly. It's so much easier to break that shit down so you can put it in your recycling bin and just toss it and throw it away and forget about it and don't worry about it ever again, even though it's just going to sit in a massive landfill warehouse because recycling doesn't actually work. It's the system is completely fucked. And I watched a documentary on
I mean,
that this
technically,
week, and
cardboard
I'm
would be
very
more
upset about it.
biodegradable than plastic if properly managed and dealt with.
System to do that isn't in place. And like I said, I watched a documentary on that kind of shit this week, and it fucked me up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you're wrong. Currently in America, we can't do it efficiently, but like the systems are there. We would just have to implement them.
Yeah, somebody's got to go in and clean all that shit up, for lack of a better term.
But no, like PLA from 3D printing. That's made out of uh, vegetables and plants.
Good.
I'm pretty
Good.
sure.
So,
Let me double
so
check
what
that.
we're saying is put the CAD models for these on whatever torrenting site you like, and let's all start pirating our toys.
Pirate, dude, people make some dope ass toys on 3D printing stuff, man.
I mean, if you can 3D print a gun, you can 3D print an action figure.
I mean, you can 3D print Nerf.
And you know it's Nerf or nothing. So you wrote a comic this week?
Hold on.
You did some nerd shit?
Yeah, I'm just.
Tell me about this nerd shit.
Yeah. PLA is firmly attained by condensation of lactic acid with loss of water. It can be prepared in ring operating polymers as polymerization of lactade, a cyclical dimmer of basic repeating unit. PLA has become popular material due to it being economically produced from renewable resources.
Sick.
Yeah, so I don't know how biodegradable it is, but degradation, degraded. It's bacterial degradable. It's biodegradable under industrial composting conditions. So it's not individually biodegradable, but it is. It is very possible to deal with it.
Okay.
Except in a
Okay, cool.
landfill, least preferable option is landfilling because PLA degrades very slowly in ambient temperature, often as slow as other plastics.
Hmm.
Basically, it is it is a more renewable form of making plastic, but it is still plastic, and it needs to be taken care of in a specific way to be handled easier. PLA is also very brittle, so you shouldn't really make toys out of it. It snapped like nothing.
Okay. Well, speaking of plastic, because before we get on to your nerd shit, I almost forgot to talk about my nerd shit. And I'm sure somebody in the comments in the future will ask if I don't bring it up. Behind me, these are the wrestling toys I got in this week. I just thought I'd put them in the background so this wasn't just a blank void. But I got the ringside exclusive TNT champion Cody. It's glorious. I absolutely one of the best packaging jobs I've ever seen on a figure. Absolutely love it. And then while I was getting groceries yesterday, I found Legends Series 9. So there's debut / Funhouse John Cena and Big Rip Van Vader with the Mastodon mask.
Hell yeah. Goddamn, it still makes me smile remembering when Tony Schiavone was first doing commentary for Dynamite, and Excalibur went, "Oh, it's the Vader bomb," and he was like, "Is that what they're called now?" Oh, that's so nice. It's a heartwarming moment.
Very wholesome.
Speaking of heartwarming, I read a comic because I just ran across it and was like, "What the fuck? That exists?" Stone Cold Steve Austin had a comic in the late 90s.
Did he have any hand in it creatively?
I have no fucking idea.
Okay,
Probably
so he's not credited on it anymore?
I don't remember seeing anything like that. I just was like, fuck it, I'll read it. Why not?
Mm.
We'll talk more about it on No Price Podcast, which you can listen to every Monday.
Yes, on the Modular Media YouTube channel.
And on podcasting platforms where we can be found. Just Modular Media, No Price Podcast. We talk about Marvel movies. We talk about Marvel comics. We talk about other comics that pique our interest, including this one. But it's fucking weird.
Comic-related toys and the Distinguished Competition are also featured on there. But I'm sorry, did you say that comic is weird? I kind of didn't register that.
The comic is weird. Okay, I'm just gonna give you the brief idea of the first issue.
Okay.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is a roaming vagabond homeless man in a pickup truck. He comes across a small town in Texas, which is being overridden by a strange militant Christian cult who are terrorizing the town. He helps some people out. They thank him. They give him food, and he's like, "All right, cool. I'm Stone Cold. I like food." And then he fucking goes towards the Christian cult. And I know damn well why they made him a Christian cult. It's so they can quote a verse from the Bible, and Stone Cold Steve Austin go, "Well, Stone Cold
whatever says
Stone Cold Steve Austin 316 says, "I just kicked your ass." You know, they did it just so he could say that line and have make sense.
I mean, you can't if it's there. That's definitely a choice.
Yeah, and so he beats him up in like big dick fashion, and it's just fucking weird. And eventually he comes across the sheriff and goes like, "There, I did your job for you, asshole." And he's like. And the sheriff is like a dick and like calls the mob boss that he's working for, and it's like, "There's this guy called Stone Cold Steve Austin in town," and the guy he calls goes like, "Oh man, I need to talk to the corporation." Like, it's not the character Stone Cold in a different setting. It is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Literal Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's amazing.
No, he's wearing blue jeans, boots, no shirt. I don't ever remember him wearing a shirt the entire comic.
Did he wear his vest?
He wear his vest the entire comic.
We're good. That's all the torso wear he needs, honestly.
But it's not it's not like a blank black vest. It is his going to the ring bedazzled Austin vest.
Yeah, man, that's the good vest. You like that vest, but fucking Okay, we can't go any further than this because we have to give people a reason to listen to No Prize. But fucking, I have to ask: is Vince in this comic?
No.
Okay,
They make reference to the corporation, but they do not talk about Vince McMahon.
all right.
So tell me
That's
about the video show that I didn't watch this week.
So yeah, BT was extremely good this week. It opened on a promo from Matt Jackson sitting by his pool, wearing the same vacation wear, and basically giving a rundown of his background with SCU, looking up to Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. Frankie Kazarian being one of the first friends he ever made at an indie show, traveling around with them and all that. And basically digresses into now all that shit, all that shit about them, I hold that dear. I hold that very close to my heart, but I'm putting it aside this week because this match is important. This match is about my belts, and I'm not losing my belts because I like money. I like money now. So, sorry, I love you guys, but you're gonna get super kicked into oblivion. Um, yeah, that's happening. And then he just pauses for a couple seconds like he's thinking, and to cap it off, he just goes, "You should put that on Dynamite."
God damn it. Fucking.
And for the audio listeners, I was making it, and he was making a jerking off gesture.
God damn it. Because here's the thing. We both like Wrestle Talk to an extent. I watch their review podcasts. That's a thing that they say constantly. Of like, it should have been on Dynamite. It's just like, god damn it. It feels like there's.
This is an important story. Why isn't it on Dynamite? Because they're trying to make you watch everything. They're a company with an interconnected media platform. They want you to watch it all.
Yeah. Why is this story element from the tie-in not in the main comic? Because they want you to buy the fucking tie-in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that complicated. Yeah, it's annoying.
Like, it's not a sales pattern I like, but fucking companies gonna be companies.
Yeah, no, just like. And here's the thing: it's free to watch BTE.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have
It's
to buy
free
it.
to work. It's free to watch Elevation. Why are you complaining? You don't even have to pay full attention. You can put that shit on in the fucking background while you're folding your laundry or some shit.
And here's the thing: I can understand why people like Wrestle Talk go like, "We don't have time. We are doing everything else," and I'm going like, "Yeah, that makes sense," but like, you shouldn't feel like that makes it right to say it's wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It's It's like saying, "Oh, I didn't have." It would be like if I said I didn't have every Transformer when I was a kid, so naturally Hasbro failed as a company to serve me as a fan.
And
Like
here's
that's
the
the
thing.
kind of backwards ass logic we're dealing in here.
Here's the thing. I would say I would like to see it on Dynamite, and not even like the full segment of just like recaps of going like of Excalibur or anybody going like, oh yeah, this happened on BTE, this happened on Dark.
And they try to do that. They try to say stuff very quickly on commentary sometimes when it's important, and you get the dark and the elevation results in the bottom corner sometimes. But I can see where it's maybe not enough for some people. I will agree. We could stand for like I don't know because I tend to groan at this kind of exposition, but there could be there could be an argument made for occasionally for a wrestler to go, as you know, this happened on Monday.
Yeah, but like even then, I've seen someone people talk about like, oh yeah, this person's been on a winning streak on Dark, and I've seen people go like, why haven't we seen it then? Why isn't it on Dynamite? And it's like because it's on Dark.
Because they want you to look at the fucking rankings on Twitter every week.
Yeah. And that bugs me still to this day. The rankings fucking matter. They aren't ignoring them. There's a reason there's 5
Because
spots.
you're not just because you're not seeing every bit of the ranking, you're not fucking. There's no website where you can actively see. Fucking, it's still there. They're still playing into it. They're just.
But why is the
People,
person who's number 3 getting a chance and not the number 1? Because it's the
because
top
number one
5.
just had a title shot 2 weeks ago.
Because number 1 just had a title shot, but also, like, they're all the top 5 people. If they didn't have the rankings just said these are the top 5 people, you'd accept it. But because they put it in that framing device, you're deciding to be a fucking nitpicker.
It's not like they're fucking pulling Nakazawa and Cutler and saying you get a title match this week because we need a quick title match.
No. And if they do want to do something like that, they do the week before and go like, oh, you just have an opportunity to fight for a chance to do it. Also,
Like,
I just realized your flag in the background's now fucking wrong.
Yeah, I realized that too. I'll order a new one when we actually do the summit.
But you were about to talk about Stu Grayson.
Yeah, so Stu Grayson had another one of his looking for Anna J segments, and this time, instead of running into somebody, he, like, chased somebody into the building with Brandon Cutler, and then they just straight up disappeared. And Brandon Cutler, of course, this whole time has been acting like he's not seeing Anna J. And so Stu Grayson kind of had a little moment where he was basically like, man, maybe I need to take a break from doing this. Maybe the others are right. Maybe I am just losing it. This is weird. This whole thing has been weird. Give me some time on this. So nice kind of like beat in the story there. Wasn't a huge deal. What was a huge deal was the through line of dealing with John Silver being missing, because the Dark Order basically had a big meeting right in the fucking middle of the hotel lobby, the Dynamite Hotel lobby. And it was kind of hilarious because at one point you see a rando just walking behind them, and then at another point a fucking bellhop has to walk through them to get to something that's on the other side of the lobby, and they just keep going. They never stop. It's great. But they basically cover a bunch of different topics like, hey, are we still feuding with Matt Hardy's group? Is Team Taz going to be a problem with us? When are we going to get some gold again? What are we doing about all that? Is Sting our friend now? Because we've been doing run-ins with Sting. What's up with that? And then there's a hilarious bit, because this is the framing device for this is Evil Uno has a to-do list on his phone that he's running down, and he gets to make BTDO real. Guys, what is BTDO? I thought that was BDSM. No, that's what I do in my spare time.
I mean, didn't you see all those gimps?
Yeah. That was another thing. I think they had something like we have to hire new creepers or something like that.
I think they could bring
then,
back the creepers now, and it'd be a fun thing.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing they should do. Like low key stuff, and I want the toy line to do if we ever get like a full Dark Order wave, have a generic figure that's just Dark Order creeper. And because they had ones in purple highlight mask and ones in green highlight mask, you do a regular release purple highlight mask, and then the green highlight mask as like one of the chases for that wave. I think that could be really cool.
See, I'd make it an army builder, and you'd have 2 masks in one box, and you could just buy as many as you'd want.
That would be pretty sick. They also talk about hey, John Silver's been missing since he wandered off that last BT or whatever it was. It might have been like 2 BTs ago. We gotta find him. And as they're talking about it, John Silver is wandering around in the background looking for them, and then walks off. So that was a whole thing. And then through this week, we had another couple Nick Jackson trick shots, just more of him being weird, looking at the camera all possessively, kind of sort of playing into the whole merch freak idea. And then after the first one of those, we got a very, very hilarious, borderline out of character segment where John Silver is wandering through one of the upper floors of the hotel, and just all of a sudden on either side of him is the best friends, and of course Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy, who are drunk off their asses on wine. And they're just like, hey, little boy, what's wrong with you? Why you look sad? And John Silver, dead ass in a baby voice, goes, I lost my mommy. I lost my daddy. I don't know where they are. And they're like, oh, we'll help you. We'll help you. Just take a little sip of this. And they try to pour him a glass of wine. And he's like, I don't want to. And they go, well, fuck you then. Kick him in the nuts and walk off. And as John Silver is falling over, pretending to be in pain, the fucking bit ends with him going, guys, I don't think this is a good idea. This is a bad bit. It was legitimately like 2 minutes of me being weirded out, and then one of the biggest laughs of the episode. Like that's the great thing about BTE is all of it is technically canon, but they're allowed to break character for the sake of a joke, which is something I like in a wrestling thing. That's kind of a side project. Um, then we had a bunch of behind the scenes footage of the blood and guts rings and the cage being put together, and a little bit of the matches. And then we had a segment that takes place before the elite segment or the elite run-in during the Blood and Guts show, where the Good Brothers are backstage with Matt and Nick, and Nick is talking to the Good Brothers, and he's like, "Yeah, yeah, we're all on point. We all match. It's a fucking biker gang day. Yeah, yeah." And then the camera just pans over to Matt in his fucking Hawaiian shirt and board shorts, and he's like, "I thought it was Hawaiian Day." And they're like, "No, you idiot! You don't match. What are you doing? You look terrible. What's going on? We have to do a run in 10 minutes." And he's like, "Shit, sorry." Like just fucking putting a nice lampshade over that whole like people flipping out over the way he was dressed on Twitter, which was wonderful. Um, then we also got footage from the Cutler cam as they were doing the run-in, which was cool because you could hear like some of the shit they were saying to Kenny and Eddie and Mox, and that was neat. But after that, we went to another little bit of just Peter Avalon trying to get on with his life. He's chatting up some random jobber lady from Dark who I didn't recognize, just chatting her up at the bar, and then Leva Bates just walks right behind them, and he notices her out the corner of the eye, and she's giving them both the stank eye, and he watches her walk off, and then as he turns back, the lady he was talking to has run off. It's like, hmm. Um, then we go back to the Dark Order where they are actually looking for John. There's just like a couple funny minutes of them like wandering around the lobby, just moving random things and going, John, John, are you here, John? Until eventually, um, John Silver sneaks up behind all of them as they're like lifting up the tablecloth or something like that. I think it was, and he's going like, "Yeah, I think he's under there." And they go, "Underwear?" And he goes, and he just pops out from behind him and goes, "Ha ha ha ha! I got all of you to say underwear, you dorks." And then they hugged. It was wholesome.
Cute.
It was wholesome in that stupid juvenile Dark Order way that I like. Um, and then the show ended. Actually, we were bookended with promos promoting that tag title match, which I really liked and really appreciated. And this time, it's Christopher Daniels who has sneaked into the Elite locker room. And he says in the promo he was actually planning to confront Matt and Nick, but instead since they weren't there, he decided to leave a message for them on the camera. Um, where he basically goes like, yeah, I haven't been on BT, I haven't been doing my bits, I haven't been wrestling a whole lot lately because I'm doing things backstage. I'm a busy guy now. I'm head of talent relations, but I've been wrestling with Frankie where I can, and we've slowly but surely worked our way up in the rankings, and now here we are in this tag title match, and it's kind of crazy. And wow, how much has changed since we all started this company, huh? Scorpio's a heel now, and I like really interestingly, CD goes, I don't necessarily blame Scorpio for being frustrated because I've been there and I get that. I may not agree with the way he's expressing that frustration, but he's his own person. He's allowed to do that if he wants. Um, and then he kind of gives his perspective on his history with Frankie and the Bucks, and basically says like, Matt, Nick, I've held your kids at Christmas. We've spent so much off time together. We've spent so much on time together. I feel like I know you guys better than I know my own family. And I want you to think about that. I want you to really think about everything we've been through and realize that no matter what happens at this title match, that relationship will never be the same after Wednesday. Um, and that's for me, that's scary. And I know for you guys, that's probably scary. And I just want you to take that feeling in and be ready for whatever happens, because that's what I'm doing. And it's like, it's just fucking good veteran face shit.
Very, very, very from the heart. Kind of. It's that sounds very intense.
Hmm. Um, yeah, is good stuff. And then we had Road 2, which doesn't really need much discussing this week because it, in slightly cut down fashion, all of the segments got played on Dynamite this week. So should we roll into it?
I think before we roll into Dynamite, we should take a quick little bathroom break, make sure we're all good and ready for the boom, the bang, the invention created by the Nobel Prize peace creator.
I did not know that. That's a cool factoid. But
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely agree. Let's do that. Let's
All
take
right.
a
Cool.
break.
We'll be right back. We're back. That's the bit I decided to come back on.
Excellent.
You just
Very
you
good.
gotta commit to the bit. That is the rule. Commit to the
I
bit.
mean, that's why I fucking drank so much energy drinking that
Commit to the
shot.
bit.
I could have faked it. I could have not opened it, but I went for it.
What was the order we decided to do this in? I don't remember.
I've got first.
Cool. what is the this is the bit I'm doing. I'm just gonna continue doing this.
Excellent. Excellent. I
Yes.
really like it. I really like that you're jacking off in front of your microphone right now.
No, this is not a jack off motion. That is a flat
But
hand.
that's what it's going to sound like to audio listeners. Excellent. Anyways, Dynamite opened up this week with Yuji Nagata with Ren Narita versus Jon Moxley with Eddie Kingston for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. This was fucking awesome.
This was amazing. This was great, and everybody was working 10 times as hard to make sure that the American audience, who would not know and would not get it, understood how important this was.
And also that New Japan was happy. Because they said New Japan Pro Wrestling like every other fucking sentence. And I was like, yes, yes, say it. Acknowledge your roots, motherfuckers.
Oh, and when they went like, oh, yeah, Toroshi Tanahashi, I was like, give me Bug Daddy.
Bring Bug Daddy. No, first, can we send Bug Daddy to go yell at Toei after what happened today?
Yeah,
and then he can come to AEW?
Okay, for people who don't understand the multiple layers to this dumb joke, Tanahashi is a professional wrestler in New Japan. We all know this. He is also a huge fan of Kamen Rider. Okay,
He's
people
basically Japanese John Cena, except instead of rapping, he loves live-action superheroes who might remind you of the Power Rangers.
Right. And unlike John Cena, everybody loved him the entire time. He never had like a phase where people got sick of him. People still love him today. I love him. He's great. His Instagram's fucking an inspiration to go like, fuck, I want a body like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's every wrestling Instagram, but still.
I mean, there's some you probably wouldn't want their body. It's just like, ow, that looks painful. But basically, Tanahashi's a big fan of Kamen Rider. And so, to the point where a lot of his gear is Kamen Rider inspired. And Kamen Rider has a nickname within the fan community as Karate Bugman. Because most Kamen Riders have some form of bug theme. So, Big Buff Boy likes Karate Bugman, Bug Daddy.
Yeah. On to shit that's relevant to this match.
You need to bring up Bug Daddy in to it, though.
I might. So, the first thing I want to ask you about with this match is just, how did you feel about the use of Wild Fang?
It's okay. I would have preferred a different song. I understand why, because it's meant to evoke like an old school kind of like rough and tumble dude. But that song was in a hugger
tribute. It was apparently a tribute to Atsushi Onita for some reason. I didn't understand
that was his
why.
theme.
Oh, it was? Okay, I didn't know that.
But that's what I'm saying. It has that feeling of like an old school kind of rough and tumble guy. But like just last year, it was in a fucking Pampers commercial.
I didn't know that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, like the original intent of the song is great. That intent of the song, like the tribute is great. But like, it is ruined by contemporary pop culture.
It's a boomer ass song that's been associated with so many different kinds of things over the years.
Yes,
to the point of where it's kind of lost its original meaning. However, I will say, during the moment, I marked out. I was like, oh, that's awesome as like a one-time only thing. Because as soon as I started thinking about it, I was like, oh, this is not going to be great in front of a full crowd. This does not work with Mox's style of entrance. So they need to go back to the regular feed next week. And I'm pretty sure they will.
Either that, no, they own the rights. This may be his permanent theme. If this is his new theme going forward, do not start it at the beginning of the song. Start it at the hook. Born to be wild. And Mox enters. That would fit better, I feel.
Probably, yeah.
Other than that, it was fine. I also really liked Nagata coming out and being like, and like everybody giving him the fucking ovations. Like, sweet. I didn't think Americans would know me this much. And it's just like,
And they built it up like it was a big deal. Like before they even played the intro, there was a shot of the two of them like warming up backstage.
that was great.
And then he gets like a full entrance. Like it's cool because he gets like the inverse of the Mox entrance where Mox walks out the door and then comes to the ring for the crowd. It's like here's the full process of Nagata walking from the locker room through the backstage area, past the dusty position, and then out through the tunnel.
Kind of like a Goldberg entrance.
Kinda, yeah.
But like,
And like the whole time he had his young boy with him. He had his young lion.
yeah,
And that boy is tiny and adorable, and I can't wait for him to come back in 20 years and terrify people.
goddamn. Because this guy, he looks like like your dad's best friend who you know you don't want to fuck with, but he's cool when he's hanging out with your dad.
I mean, have you seen that picture of him and Mox toasting beers from after the match?
Did you see the picture of him visiting with Shinsuke Nakamura?
No, I haven't seen that.
It's Shinsuke Nakamura, the him, another Japanese dude, and the only or one of only two Japanese cheerleaders for the NFL. All taking a photo. He looks like your recently divorced 50-year-old dad who's not going through a midlife crisis. He's happy, but he is a 50-year-old recently divorced dad. So he has the pop collar and a fanny
Is that from this
pack.
weekend?
It might be.
Because I might have seen that, because I think I know the cheerleader you're talking about. I do follow her on Instagram, because she's a friend of Hikaru Shida. That's how I found her.
She cheerleads for the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's a reason.
Yeah.
There's logical reason why.
And, like, most of the time I just zone out scrolling past her photos, but I saw, like, she was in the crowd at Dynamite, and she had a bunch of pictures with a bunch of other, I guess, Japanese native alumni that were there for that show, including Nagata and Hikaru. And it was like, oh, this is cute. This is wholesome. Community. I like it.
Yeah. But goddamn, this match, everything was on all cylinders.
Because it's not a long match, but it's a match that does everything you want to see.
Yeah, and it is a very kind of old school style, strong style match, to put it best. Because this feels very kind of like mid 90s, late 90s strong style New Japan kind of like, you know, that kind of grit growl. Right
definitely.
before Enochiism kind of took hold. You've seen the YouTube videos about Enochiism.
A little bit, yeah. But like, JR was putting Nagata over on commentary as like one of Inoki's favorites.
One of Inoki's favorites, but also like going on about like he's trained Okada, he's trained Naito, he's trained. Did he train that? Did he say Naito? They might have not said Naito. Tanahashi. I'm just going like this guy has been a foundational part of New Japan for years.
I mean, like, I'm not going to pretend I know everything about Yuji Nagata, but I did some research into him going into this show. And, like, he was apparently the guy in New Japan for years. He kept the company afloat during some of its worst years in the mid-2000s. And, like,
and then handed
any
off the
guy
ace,
who can put a whole company on his back like that, you got to respect it.
Yeah. And he could still fucking go, man. He was.
That was something they said on commentary. Is like he's in his mid-50s now. He just had a birthday. He wants to keep wrestling until he's 70. I'm like, you fucking go, Daddy-O.
Yeah, and like he worked. Like his style was a perfect complement to Moxley's kind of explosive wrestling style. That is, it's definitively wrestling, but there's elements of brawling in there, and it's like it works so well, and there's like a bunch of respect, and but it's a respect of like I want to supplant you and I want to surpass you. It's respectful. It's anime as fuck.
It's an old cowboy trying to wrestle a young raging bull that he doesn't quite have the strength to contain. Because eventually the match does end when Mox gets him up and hits him with the paradigm shift, pins him, and retains the title, which did surprise me. I thought with how much they were building up this match, this was going to be New Japan's way of getting their belt back.
But they have a working relationship now. It's much easier to have Moxley be the champ. There's not as many headaches and hurdles that they have to go through,
which was great. And like that fucking bit after the match where they just took a second for Mox to like bow to him, and then Nagata bowed back, and then they fucking put their foreheads together.
Oh man! Because goddamn, that felt like also a little bit of a reference to goddamn, what was the match? It wasn't Ishii. It was Moxley versus another big fucker in New Japan, Bulldog.
Lance Archer?
No. He has the Bulldog as he's Japanese. He's a Japanese man.
I don't know.
Okay. So let me New Japan Pro Wrestling. Let's see if I can find it on his Wikipedia page. Okay. Ishii.
It was Ishii? Okay.
No, who was the other person I was thinking of? Tomohiro Ishii. He's the guy I was thinking of. It was... Who's the guy who has, fucking... Suzuki.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah, Suzuki.
I was thinking of, like... I was trying not to think of Suzuki and think of Tomohiro Ishii. Because they had that cool, like, butting head moment in the match. But yeah. No, it was great. It was amazing. I also love the moment near the end when he puts on the finisher, he wins, he pins, and he just, real quick, to the young guy, come check on your dude. Like, this was pure
I almost forgot about that. That was great.
This was all pure respect. I care about this guy. Check on him. I am tired as fuck. You know, that kind of thing. And then they respect and the bows. Also, Excalibur saying it's the Death Rider. Because in Japan, the move is the Death Rider. In America, it's the Paradigm Shift.
Yeah.
And I like that he was like, no, this is a New Japan match. We're going to use the New Japan name. What?
Which do you prefer, by the way?
I like the Paradigm Shift just because it has more impact for me as an AEW fan from the very beginning, remembering that Paradigm Shift promo.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same, but also Death Rider is such an awesome name.
See, here's the thing. When I hear Death Rider, I think of, like, doing, Jon Moxley doing, like, an Unprettier.
Really?
Yeah, like, I can see him just hopping over a dude and slamming their faces, like, Death Rider, boom. That's kind of the move I see.
That would be a way better name for the Unprettier, honestly.
Yeah. I can get why it's called the Unprettier for some, because you're slamming a face in, and if you're a heel with a kind of, like, look at me gimmick, it makes sense, but, like...
But I know a ton of people who hate the Unprettier just because of its name.
It's a good move, though.
It is a good move.
It is a fun move. Because, like...
Just sucks that WWE owns the copyright on Kill Switch.
No, they've been calling it a Kill Switch.
Have they?
Yeah, because the Kill Switch is the setup on back to back.
Maybe it's one of those fucking respect things of only Christian can call it the Kill Switch.
Yeah, because Christian can call it a Kill Switch because the Kill Switch is setting up on the back, head is bent down, and you slam the head while you drop to your butt.
Nice.
Yeah. Speaking of butts, Alex Morvez! Ha ha ha! Jokes! He talks to Sammy Guevara. He's talking to Sammy Guevara, Otis. and Jake Hager, and they basically go like, "Hey, fucking Pinnacle, you're a bunch of dickholes. You abused our trust. We surrendered under the pretense that you would not hurt Jericho anymore, and then you hurt Jericho more. You're a bunch of assholes. Also, you fucking put Santana in holding because you fucking bitched and moaned that he brought a fork into the match. What the fuck did you expect would happen? Bunch of pansy ass bitches. Fight us again. Fight us."
So do you know? Because I've seen nothing about this anywhere. Was that just a storyline thing?
Santana
Was
came down with something, and they were trying to.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, did he get injured? What the fuck's going on with Santana? Is Santana okay?
No, Santana's just like sick for a week, and it was like, just we'll stay home. You stabbed him with a fork. We'll write that in, which I think is a brilliant move because it also makes the Inner Circle on the back foot a little bit underdog kind of team right now.
Yeah. And it also made me, and they bring him up later in the show, so we'll talk about that. But it made me immediately think, oh, Mark Sterling is still in AEW.
Oh yeah. But like, no, I dug this promo. It was nice to see people other than Chris Jericho talk for the Inner Circle.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Jake Hager came at that promo. He did a good job.
Yeah, you can tell he was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get to talk. I'm gonna fucking talk my ass off.
He talked his ass off. He did good.
Yeah.
Not bad. Talking ass off, talk ass off.
Mm-hmm. But speaking of talking, my boy, he had a promo.
The promo heard round the Twitter sphere.
Yeah, okay, so Cody Rhodes comes out to the ring and just immediately starts going, what the fuck are you doing?
I dropped my thing. I was grabbing it. That's why I was going.
I thought you were setting up for a joke. But
I am a joke.
No argument here. But Cody comes out to the ring and he gets on the mic, and this was advertised as, oh yeah, Cody's making a huge announcement for Double or Nothing. And like there was a little part of me that made me think like, oh, he's going to announce this will be his last match before the baby is born, and he's going to be taking a break from wrestling for the first few months of the baby's life. But no, he comes out and he immediately starts going, so patriotism, am I right? That shit's unpopular these days. When I was growing up, it was kind of the in thing. Now it's kind of not. But you know, with all our problems, even with how fucked the last election was, I still am proud to be an American. I still love being in this country. Anthony Agogo, you're not from this country. You put your country's flag over my ass after you punched me, and you've been shooting your mouth off on commentary on Dark, and it's a bit hypocritical, isn't it? When you're making money in our country via our country's governmental systems, and this company right here that I own. So you know what? You and me at Double or Nothing, and for one night only, I'm not going to be the American Nightmare. I'm going to be the American Dream. And I'll admit, through probably the first couple minutes of this promo, I was cringing hardcore. I was like, Cody, I love you, but this is not a good time to be doing this kind of promo. What are you doing? Like it's very, you can tell like he's super fucking nervous about what he's saying. And it feels disjointed. It's not as good as his standard promo.
No,
and he
takes a lot of tangents.
Yeah, and
because he's trying to qualify everything.
Mm-hmm. He's like, look, we're trying to do a patriotism thing because it's Memorial Day weekend, and I have a thing tied to this country. He has a thing tied to his country. It makes sense, but like we only have 3 weeks to do this feud. Give us a break.
Also, I want to trademark for my dad's nickname, but I gotta prove that we use it to file for it. So come on, guys, come on.
Mm-hmm.
That's a rumor I've been
So
hearing
like,
about it too. So
like what I was saying, for the first few minutes of this promo, I was cringing pretty hardcore, but eventually he does kind of reel it in and tie it all together. And I'll admit, when he said he's going to call himself the American Dream at Double or Nothing, I popped like I was in the crowd. Because fucking Dusty is the greatest of all time, in my opinion. Cody's my favorite currently active wrestler. Like, just hearing that shit. And the way he set it up, too, saying, like, there's a fucking Excalibur level sword that's been on the ground for years, and I'm one of only two people who can pick it up, and Dustin is too respectful ever to do it, so I have to do it to fucking defend our family and our country's honor this Memorial Day weekend for one night only. Justin Roberts, you fucking listen to me. I will be the American Dream, Cody Rhodes. Like I got out of my chair like a little kid and went, "Let's go." I was excited. I was happy. It made me happy. Okay.
here's the thing. Here's the biggest thing. It is a tone deaf promo with a lot of backing trying to make it less tone deaf.
Yeah.
Because basically the promo is, I am a proud American, and this British guy insulted me by draping me over with the British flag, with the Union Jack. It's not Union Jack is like if it's a navy, but whatever. The Union flag. That's the promo. So he went like, that won't work now. Foreign heel is kind of tacky, but he wanted to like, that's informing it, but like also proud American. You can't really say that. We can't. It's not a good idea to be proud of this country right now, and because there's so many problems. We're in the process of trying to recognize it. I know. Let's recognize those problems and how we're trying to solve them. Oh, that means I got to talk about racism. Oh,
I completely forgot about the bit where he talks about Brandy and his kid to be.
he did it tastefully enough. It wasn't like super cringe, but it was like
that was wonderfully emotional in the moment, but like in the greater context of that promo, it's fucking crazy that he goes there.
In the greater context of that promo, in the greater context of American culture, that can very easily come off, oh yeah, no, I'm totally not racist. I have a black wife. Like, but that's the thing. He was trying to get to like point B, but he had to stop through like 7 different things of like, yeah, but the country's not that great. But yeah, but we're working on it. But yeah, but then we understand that there's division. But yeah, we're trying to stay together. And there was segregation and there was racism. But I'm married to a black woman and we're having a mixed baby.
Also, I mean, like, what the fuck has Britain done lately? Am I right? Am I right?
That's what it felt
like me.
So I can understand why people didn't like it. It was very much of like, they are trying to paint by the numbers, but they don't have all the right colors.
Yeah.
It is saying you need red, blue, and green, and we got yellow, purple, and a slightly different shade of purple. Can we do it? Kinda. That's what it feels like.
We can try.
Yeah.
We can fucking try, and he tried real hard. And there were, like I said, this promo had its moments. It capped off really nicely. Like I said, in the moment, the thing about his baby was really nice and emotional, but the whole of this promo is not as good as its parts.
The whole of this I wouldn't say this promo is problematic. I wouldn't say this promo immediately just makes me go like, oh, fuck Cody Rhodes, the Republican looking motherfucker. Nah. This promo is like trying to take a character from the 80s and modernizing them. You know?
You know what's hilarious? You say Cody looks like a Republican, and in this promo he comes off like a Republican. The fact of the matter is, like, I know from old BTE bits and from backstage like interviews and shit, he is fucking hardcore leftist as fuck.
As much as he
Like
can be
he's
in a
an
corporate position.
yeah, like he's an atheist and whatnot, and like he's like he never grew out of his edgy atheist phase. Is the hilarious thing about Cody to me. Like he doesn't go out of his way to tell people he's an atheist, but whenever it comes up, he's right there with that shit. And it's like, dude, how are you 10 years older than me and yet I feel like I'm more calm about that shit than you are?
No, but this is it, it's trying to play the hits, but you can't quite hit the notes.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're
like
playing somebody else's music.
yeah. And it's not horrible, but it's like stick to what you know.
Mhm.
Let's get this over with and stick to what you know.
This was nice. It's okay to do this once, but maybe never again.
I mean, I wouldn't mind him going like, you know what, I'm the American dream this time again because you said fuck my dad. And it's like, that'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a fine thing. Like,
And it's also like I just thought of this. It's also kind of weird because didn't he way back at the beginning of AEW say like nothing I do going forward is about my dad?
yeah, how many feuds have surrounded about him and his relationship to his dad?
Yeah. Cody is the Cody is that second generation wrestler who is perpetually going, I am not my dad. Also, here's stuff my dad did.
Yeah. I mean, Cody is one of those guys that you love, but you just go like, come on, dudes, why are you fucking up?
Mm-hmm.
It's that dude that you like hanging out with, but they also do hard drugs every once in a while. It's like, come on, man, get off the
Like,
heroin.
I don't think I'll ever not love Cody Rhodes.
No.
Unless he kills somebody. But God forbid. But like I am like if you've been listening to this fucking podcast, listener, Chris, you've been sitting right here with me. I am fully capable of acknowledging this man's flaws.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a wonky bit. It was fine. It's not the end of Cody's career, but it is just like
it's a speed bump.
it's a speed bump.
Hopefully the match will be good.
Yeah.
I feel like the match will probably be really good because they've done a lot of work on Anthony and he looks great so far. And if there's one thing Cody can do, it's carry a motherfucker through a match.
I really hope Anthony wins because I feel like Anthony getting a win over Cody Rhodes would just fucking be amazing.
Yeah, that's probably what should happen. So
I also saw people going like, "Oh, Cody's gonna win because Cody always wins. Cody wins, lol." It's like,
Cody lost to Jericho in the title match. He then lost to MJF. Like, Cody has had major losses in the past. Cody is willing to lie down to put other people over when it needs to happen.
oh, and hey, would you look at that? Anthony Ogogo, someone they're trying to put over. But speaking of people going over, we have the Young Bucks and SCU in this little segment. We have a little SCU preview package, basically going like, hey, we're an old school team, we're an old school group of guys, we've been going at this for a while, and if we don't win this, we quit as a tag team. And it's like, okay, cool, that's the stipulation, that's the setup.
They've been doing it for a decade, and now they want one last shot to see if they can still do it.
Yep. So SCU comes out, do their thing, and the Young Bucks come out, and of course, it's the whole entourage, Don Callis, the Good Bros, all of it. And it's big, it's pomp and circumstance, but they don't play pomp and circumstance, they're not Macho Man. And goddamn, this was a fun-ass match.
This match was fucking baller. This was like the best match of the night, honestly.
But this match also had the first botch. Technically, Christopher Daniels wasn't supposed to bleed.
Really? Because I'm pretty sure he was blading.
No! He showed a picture afterwards. It's in a place where you don't blade. It was right here on the eyebrow.
Oh, so they legit kicked him into the ring post then.
Yeah, no, that was Hardway.
Okay. Because I thought the way I don't know, something about the camera angle there. It looked to me like he was bending over and blading, and then Nick kicked him into the ring post to make it make sense in kayfabe that he was bleeding.
That might be it, but like the picture he posted of the stitches later, because he got stitches, definitely made it look like he wasn't blading because he also got a shiner.
Mm.
So I think he didn't blade. Either way, they played into it afterwards with the Bucks going after the spot.
Because he bled like crazy, dude. It was borderline nasty.
He bled like Dustin fucking Rhodes.
Yeah.
But man, it added something immediate because it's like, oh, these guys feel like they're on their last legs as wrestlers, as people, you know.
Because like when Kaz tags in, he goes all out. He busts his ass. He throws every fucking move he has at the Bucks, and it's not enough.
And then he feels like he has to tag in Christopher Daniels, and he goes for a few moves, then he wobbles, and it's just like, oh no.
Yeah. CD's tired. He's hurt. He can't carry a match on his own. He needs to be able to tag out to his partner every few minutes, and now he can't because his partner just blew his wad while CD was bleeding his fucking face off.
Yep. And goddamn, the Bucks were fucking assholes this whole match. It was great.
The way they parodied "I'm sorry, I love you," like I was so mad when I saw that. Like they got me. They legit got me.
Oh, and especially because like they quieted they somehow like for some reason it felt like to me they quieted the stadium just a little bit and then they mic'd that and pumped it in to the stadium so everybody could hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And like immediately it was like, "Oh no, fuck you. Why no? You're going to parody that like oh no."
Yeah, and then there's a fucking because they end up putting Daniels away with the BTE trigger, and like their profile pic right now is a screen cap. Oh, their profile pic on Twitter is a screen cap of Daniels right in the middle of taking that BTE trigger, and his face just looks completely out of whack. It's disgusting, and like I don't know if you've noticed, but the Bucks' Twitter game has been on fucking fire since they turned heel.
Goddamn, their bio work. They're just using their bio is fucking
They're changing their bio like every 12 hours, and it's hilarious.
because everybody gets fucking like so invested in it and they know it, so they mess with people. It's like, ha, we just changed their bio. And it's just like, what? It's beautiful. It's beautiful manipulation.
Hmm. Like, they understand that social media is a huge part of working fans these days, and that's great.
But this match was good. It sucks to see SCU end this way, man.
Because, like, there's a moment after the match, the crowd starts chanting "Thank you, SCU," and Frankie slowly gets back to the ring and kind of picks up Chris, and they hug, and it's fucked, man. And
Yeah.
like, CD tweeted right after the match, like, this might be it. Like potentially that was his retirement match. We'll know more next week.
It's a good ass match to end on because he looked like a fucking hero.
Yeah. And like, got to give it to both those guys being able to put one of the biggest things in their career down on the line like a sacrificial lamb for the sake of the main event storyline of the company that they've been helping build. Like that's real like humble kind of badass shit right there.
Yeah. It was just really good. Really solid match. Are we?
But
Am
what
I supposed
happened
to talk?
after it?
Oh, I'm supposed to do that. I'm doing the
Yeah,
whole
go
SU
ahead.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I get it. I get what we're doing now. But then we cut to the back, and we have the retribution, the justifiers, the punishers, the
The
judge dread,
equalizers.
the judge dreads of AEW, John Moxley and Eddie Kingston going like, you know what, that was fuck. They were assholes.
That match was fucking bullshit.
Fact, match was fucking bullshit. The Bucks were assholes. So we're just gonna go into the Bucks locker room and just wreck everything.
Hmm. And they don't legitimately break anything,
They
but they
flip
like knock
tables.
over every table, they throw a couple chairs, and they do a lot of screaming, and it feels good and cathartic.
Yeah, it was very much, hey, this is the fan reaction.
Hmm.
And we'll get to the response later, but goddamn, that was fucking hilarious too.
Yeah. Uh, but then we cut to another area backstage where Dasha Gonzalez is talking to Christian Cage. And he's basically replying, going like, "Yeah, this whole Team Taz thing is fucking annoying. I don't really care about it. That Taz's tactics or whatever it was last week, that was really silly. I don't care about it. I don't want this feud, but I guess we're gonna do this. I got an open contract from Tony Khan. Taz, pick one of your boys, send him out next week. I'll kick the shit out of him. It'll be fun." And then fucking Matt Sydal walks in and goes, "Hey, motherfucker, we have unfinished business. I signed that contract. I'll see you next week." And I was like, all right. I didn't know I wanted that, but let's go.
And also Christian Cage made the fucking like, hey, just don't fuck up on the ropes.
Hmm.
So make a reference
And
to his Casino Battle Royale thing because he's like,
yeah, because they were talking about they're going to be in the Casino Battle Royal again at this Double or Nothing. And that will have been 1 year since Matt Sydal's debut in AEW. So he's kind of looking for redemption with that. And also, Cage wants to win it to get the title shot. Like he's been saying since he got into AEW, I'm here to go after that title. I want to lock up with Kenny Omega. And like, I know there are some people who will be upset if they do it because hot shotting a WWE guy into the main event, but like I'm after seeing that promo, I'm like that makes perfect sense. Is that's how you get Christian to the main event right away, and that's how you get him and Kenny to have their dream match. And when Kenny beats Christian, because I would be shocked if Christian won in a title match against Kenny Omega. Um, Christian being again, I keep using this phrase tonight. Christian being used as a sacrificial lamb for the sake of Kenny Omega's heel heat would be awesome.
yep. Because then Christian Cage can easily go back down and be an upper mid card guy to help bring up younger talent.
I mean, he's a face, and a certain heel is TNT champion as of Wednesday, and we'll talk about that later. But like, don't you want to see that
That'd
match?
be fun. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. But since real quick, since we are talking about the Casino Battle Royale, who do you think's gonna be the Joker? Because usually that's a surprise.
Oh damn, I haven't even thought about that. It's too soon to do any of the post Mania releases. Dude, it's got to be either Andrade or Daniel Bryanson or
Yeah,
Brian Danielson.
I was thinking those two people too. God
Mhm.
damn! Imagine the fucking pop you get like. What could you do
I
for
would.
Andrade Cien Almas that would get that much of a pop?
Mhm. Uh, Man, I don't know. I don't know anything about his indie career.
No,
Um,
or Mexican career
yeah,
because he was a mainstream wrestler in Mexico. It wasn't like indie.
yeah. That's fucked that we think of any. We still think of anything that's not WWE, or I guess we also put AEW as a mainstream company
And
now.
New
But
Japan.
but we think of anything that isn't those three as indie, and that's fucked.
Yeah, that's what.
We need another fucking term. We need to come up with something that's like minor leagues but for wrestling. Damn it.
Because that's Impact, that's Ring of Honor, that's AAA, that's CMLL.
Fucking. What's the other big one in Japan besides New Japan?
Either Noah, DDT.
DDT. That's the one I'm thinking of. Because I was listening to a podcast the other day and people were talking about, like, well, if Kenny's going to keep doing the belt collector thing, where's he going to go next? Somebody suggested he could very easily go over to Japan and get the DDT belt.
Yeah, and that was his home Japanese promotion before New Japan.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Um, but yeah, that's exciting. That whole potential with the Casino Battle Royal is very exciting.
Very much so. Anybody else you think might be in it? Anybody else you want to kind of like, maybe they might be in it?
Probably the usual suspects. I would not be surprised if Hangman popped up. I wouldn't be surprised if all of Team Taz is in there. Probably at least one or two members of the HFO. Um, uh,
Darby.
you know who I'd like to see show up? You know who I'd really like to see show up? Fuego del Sol.
That'd be fun.
Because I've gotten pretty invested in Fuego del Sol watching Sammy's vlogs, so I think it would be fun if he showed up and like got to do a couple of spots.
I win. I know who should show up.
Who?
Minoru Suzuki.
Fuck, dude, that's not fair.
Just because all you have to do is because Minoru Suzuki's entering it, everybody just goes like, "Oh,
No.
But Lance Archer's in the ring goes like, "Hey, boss, what's up?"
Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, everybody's just powdering.
Goddamn Minoru Suzuki. God, because they said once the world starts opening back up some, New Japan guys would start coming over. They started more working
in AEW. Let's go.
Bug Daddy. What if it's Bug Daddy?
Because, dude, fuck you. Because now I'm considering the possibility that I could be in the same building as Bug Daddy.
Goddamn, Bug Daddy Suzuki. Because that's a big thing we got to recognize. This is a big, fun spectacle spot. So this might be a place where AEW goes like, let's see who of our partners we can borrow like a big mainstream guy, get him a paycheck, and just do some fun things with. Because that could be like Sami Callihan. That'd be fun. Suzuki, Okada, Bug Daddy.
Fucking, isn't RVD still at Impact?
Yes, but I think he's taking time off for injuries right now.
You know who the one partner we're ignoring is? NWA. Fucking Aldis.
Aldis would be fun. Aldis would definitely be fun.
Or like Aaron Stevens.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of somebody else who they could easily pull.
Evil. What if Evil showed up? That'd be fun. Or Jay White.
That'd be fucking crazy. Oh, Jay White shows up. Jay White wins, and he's like, "Fuck you for constantly referencing the Bullet Club. I'm gonna take your belt."
Yeah. Goddamn, there'd just be so much fun things you can do. Oh. Yeah. Thank you for opening the forbidden door, because it makes trying to predict shit impossible, and it's always fun to watch.
And fucking saying the forbidden door on Dynamite during that Nagata match.
Yeah. But next we have...
Now you got a thing. You got your boy.
Yeah. We have the boy, Orange... We have the boy, Orange Cassidy. Not the other two. The other two did show up. Versus Pac, because with these the other two boys here...
Yeah.
Having a just good old-fashioned face versus face match to decide who's going to go up against Kenny Omega at Double or Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And this match was really good. This really solid match. And then a mistake happened.
Yeah, it was good for about 10 minutes.
Because after about 10 minutes, a move happened and Orange Cassidy got knocked out.
Yeah, I think it was a punt kick.
Yeah. But essentially, no one quite knew it immediately, so they continued a little bit, and then was like, "Oh wait, no, Cassidy's out of it," and so they tried to play it off. They played it off really. This was brilliant the way they played it off because
they immediately go to commercial break.
I was watching the fight feed, so I didn't see the commercial break. But the entire time, basically, Cassidy was trying to recover. In that state where like the referee would go by and go like, are you able to continue, or like to check on him? But Pac played interference trying to keep going for Cassidy, so Aubrey Edwards couldn't go check on Cassidy. giving them a moment of time so a real doctor can come in and check on Cassidy.
Mm.
And well, they could formulate a plan. And then they formulated a plan of Kenny Omega coming out going like, hey, guess what? I don't want to put my fate into your hands. I'm just going to attack Pac. That way I fight the loser at Double or Nothing, or no one at Double or Nothing, and I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, because this match was actually originally supposed to go to a 20-minute draw, according to Dave Meltzer, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But they changed it to this because of the
Botch.
Yeah, botch. Because I was trying to think for a second, but I'm pretty sure it was confirmed that Cassidy did not get concussed. Like he was fine. Like apparently he was socializing with people immediately after the match all night. He's fine.
Yeah, he just got the wind and then lights knocked out of him real quick, and it's like, oh.
So that's why they say you have the angriest muscles.
But Kenny Omega, but like they immediately played it brilliantly. Kenny Omega comes out and he heals it up for a bit to waste the time that they needed for the match, so they can keep on a schedule. So he's healing up, doing all the thing, and then Tony Schiavone meekly comes over and goes like, "Hey guys, I'm the messenger. Don't shoot me. But Tony Khan has something to tell you. You are gonna have the match on Double or Nothing, and you're fighting both of them." And Kenny Omega's apoplectic. Don Callis is going like, "What? No, this is bullshit. No one won. No one won."
The fucking selling was so good. Like, I love how we've gone from, doing a triple threat for the title is such a WWE-ass move to, okay, now here's how you do set up a triple threat for the title in a non-lazy way.
Also, it's also like, it feels like a more special event because, it's the first time we've had one of these in AEW. We haven't seen a million of them by now.
Yeah. And it's free fan favorites. It's the fan favorite who made it possible for this company to start. It's the fan favorite who got his second win through this company. And the fan favorite who basically ascended to legit star for this company.
And it's also a perfect just mix because you have Kenny Omega, pure out and out heel. Pac, which is kind of a tweener. He's a dick, but he's a good guy right now. And you have Orange Cassidy, just outright babyface. And it's a good mix because you can definitely see there would be nobody who wouldn't be in that match for themselves. You know. But it's solid, really good, like on their feet improvisational thinking. Solid work, AEW. You fixed the problem that happened.
Disaster avoided.
Yes.
But then we get a backstage segment.
Wait, real quick. Name a better combo. AEW and fixing a botch.
I don't know. I like the pizza ones. Those are all right. Fuck you for no selling my joke. Young Bucks and Good Brothers are backstage in the Elite locker room reacting to the fact that it's been trashed. And they basically go like, all right, you guys are going to fuck with our shit? Fine. Varsity Blondes, you little bitches. You got a title match next week. We're going to beat the fuck out of you just to show that we're going to do this to everybody, not just the old dudes. And
also, Brian Pillman, your dad had a documentary. Wham. Go watch the documentary that we're making fun of. Wham.
And fucking Mox and Eddie, you guys better be here Memorial Day weekend because you got a title match at Double or Nothing.
I really want to just mention the Good Brothers had one of the best fucking lines. I don't remember which one it was said it. It's like, this is where we put our things in the middle and we pray like good Christian men.
Yes, I forgot about that. That was fucking hilarious. And then the other one starts to talk about circle jerking and they're like, shut the fuck up, this is TV.
But we pray like good Christian men. This is like fucking great. No, this is solid. Also, like Brian Pillman Jr. getting some shit.
Hmm. I love how much the company has gotten behind that team so quickly.
Because I watched the Brian Pillman Jr. 2-part Dark Side of the Ring
Oh,
documentary.
you did? That's cool. I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's really weird and nuanced because like everybody goes like, yeah, no, the whole situation was fucked. A lot of people are on the bad side, but not everybody's bad people. It's like they treat it with a very kind hand, not in the like, oh, we don't want to expose the truth, but in the no, some people just weren't in the right place at the right time mentally.
Yeah, that's generally how that show tries to come at things, I find, and I always appreciate that.
Yeah,
Um, like I said back when it came out, I really think everybody should check out the Chris Benoit two-parter because that completely changed my perspective on that whole thing. Not to say I'm now like a Chris Benoit stan,
no,
but like it makes you it basically that took me from wow, that's fucked, I can't believe that monster did that to oh no, he was a ticking time bomb because of all these factors and all of these fucked up things about the way WWE was at the time and some shit that was out of his control. And it's just a horrible bunch of things stacking on top of each other that made this happen. And God, what a tragedy. I hope his son can get to a better place.
yeah, because that fucks with him. That seems to still fuck with him to this day. He seems
Hmm. I
affected by it.
genuinely hope he does find a career in wrestling. Like that's okay.
The hardest part about that is people gonna exploit him for shock bucks.
Hmm. And I was about to say, I won't lie, I would mark out if he's the Joker.
That'd be interesting. But also, like Brian Pillman Jr. is not necessarily in the same situation, but like he went through similar things, and I was like, I really enjoyed when he was like when there were him and his sisters were telling the story of like when he wanted to actually start wrestling, and he was like, you know what, I want to start wrestling. I want to take up what Dad did, and his I love his the sister's line is like, yeah, but you play video games all day. How can you wrestle? I was just like, fuck, dude, that's nice. I fucking yeah, I vibe with that. Also their aunt is fucking god tier.
Yeah, he was talking about that on Twitter, how his aunt basically raised him.
Yeah, and his god tier. Also, Brian Pillman Jr. is putting out merch to support her, which is nice.
Hmm.
No, the whole documentary was great, and it really made me like appreciate this kind of nebulous idea of like Brian Pillman and wrestling. It's like it's always been this thing that you hear of. Is like, oh, he was one of the greatest. Like this explains why he was one
Like
of the greatest.
legitimately all I knew about Brian Pillman before Brian Pillman Jr. showed up in AEW was that he's one of Brian Myers' favorite wrestlers.
All I knew was like he did the gun angle where he pulled out a gun on Stone Cold before a
Okay, I didn't know
documentary.
that was him.
Yeah, that
I've
was
heard
Brian
about
Pillman.
that angle. I didn't know that was him.
Because Brian Pillman and Stone Cold Steve Austin were best friends.
Is Stone Cold in it?
Yeah, Stone Cold's in it. He talks. Stone Cold's in it, and he says he has a really interesting like the way he describes the whole thing. It was basically like I knew Brian Pillman was in a bad place, but but he was Brian Pillman. I thought he could get out of it. I thought nothing could kill him. I thought he was fine. That kind of thing. And it was like,
Mm.
wow, it's it's Stone Cold. It's the closest thing Stone Cold could to get to say toxic masculinity killed my best friend,
Mm.
because he didn't feel like he could open up and talk to him and like go like, hey man, are you okay? Because no, he's a man. He's a real man's man. He can handle this. I don't need to worry about him. And like the regret in his eyes is just like, god damn.
Hmm.
Also, apparently, Stone Cold's the reason Brian Pillman Jr. is wrestling.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because what happened was Stone Cold was going through his old things, and he found one of Brian Pillman's weight belts when they would work out together. So he texted Brian Pillman Jr. and went like, "Hey, I found one of your dad's old white belts. I want to give it to you. And that was like sparked the idea in Brian Pillman Jr.'s like, this is a sign. This is what I'm supposed to do with my life. I'm supposed to carry on my dad's legacy.
That's fucking awesome. That is fucking like comic book storytelling level shit right there. I love that.
Even if it's like there's a half truth in there, and it's like kind of fake, and they prettied it up for the story. It's just like too good.
Mm-hmm.
Because like with that idea, it's not just the fact that he's also like being the second generation Brian Pillman. It's also like he's kind of carrying on the torch of Stone Cold, because Stone Cold like handed it off to him, the figurative like wrestling idea to him.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Brian Pillman Jr. has one of the best lines in the fucking thing. It's like, if Dad didn't want me to wrestle, he wouldn't have named me Brian Pillman Jr. God damn! That's a fucking line. That's a fucking
Dude, I've got to shake Brian Pillman Jr.'s hand someday. That's fucking awesome.
It's just like that just encapsulates who he is as a character, who he is as a person, and just like, fuck yeah. Because I think he's like my age. He's like 27, 28.
Yeah, he's in our age group. It's crazy. It's crazy how many like up and comers right now are the same age as us.
Or like how many of them are younger? Like fucking Top Flight.
Top Flight are babies. They're fucking babies compared to us. It's scary. It's weird. I don't like it.
Yep.
I was talking about this a few weeks ago on Twit with Buster. Is fucking the Dino Fury cast are babies compared to me, and that's fucked me up a little.
But no, yeah, no, Brian Pillman Jr. is fucking great. I also watched because I watched those two, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch a couple of more of them. I watched the Von Erichs episode. It's just like,
it's a great one.
God damn. I saw when they finally just showed the new Von Erichs, the current era of the Von Erichs, and they were going like, yeah, we know the pain our dad went through. We don't want to ever put him through that kind of thing. We are being very careful. And it's like that kind of vibe they had is like, God damn, the heartbreak in that old man.
It's just but like the joy he feels now watching them wrestle.
God damn, it was beautiful. The Von Erichs are in MLW. I'm pretty sure MLW is working as a WWE feeder right now, but goddamn, if they could work with AEW to see the
if they could just show up in Impact, I'd be happy.
Yeah, just to see the Von Erichs. Oh man, just imagine like the Von Erichs old.
You know, Cody would give them like all the money to come to AEW.
Oh, you're a old school revivalist wrestling act. You are
same fam. Come be in my club, fam. Come join the Nightmare family with me.
God damn. I'm surprised there isn't a faction with Cody, the Von Erichs, and FTR. And Brian Pillman Jr.
That's what the Nightmare family should be, honestly. Have you watched the Gino Hernandez one yet?
No.
I would recommend checking that one out. I was rewatching it the other day, and it's really solid.
Yeah, no, I'm working my way through them. No specific order, just whatever I can get to.
That's perfectly fine. That's a show where you really don't need to watch it in any particular order.
I also watched the Montreal Screwjob episode.
Oh, cool.
It was.
Did you fist pump when you heard that Brett legit punched Vince to the ground? Because I did.
God damn it.
Because I'd never heard that before somehow, and that was just like the most fuck yeah moment to me.
Because like god damn, it's so interesting to see these guys basically try and gaslight their way into saying like, yeah, no, we didn't want to honor our contract with a guy who realistically, like, Bret Hart was also being kind of a knob. It's like, oh, I could just give it up and not lose. It's like, dude, come on.
And fucking Coronet talking about him and Hebner running out of the building at the same time. And then, what was the other thing from that episode I really like? Oh, Kevin Nash thinking it's all work.
No, Scott Hall.
It was Scott Hall. Scott Hall still to this day thinks the Montreal Screwjob is a work. What the fuck?
I mean, that dude has worked everybody, tried to do it to the best of his ability. I can understand why, if you're so wrapped up in that mindset, you can go like, no, it's a work. But
Look,
like,
Triple H is out there. What's he doing out there? That makes no
the
sense.
only thing I
Dude.
agree is like really just like super coincidental is like they wouldn't is Vince McMahon getting the spit on his face and staying on that camera. That's the only thing I can go like, yeah, no, that's kind of weird. But like everything else just doesn't feel right, you know? And that was our brief
Yeah.
diatribe into Dark Side of the Ring. So why don't we
Go
talk
Dark
about
Side of
that?
the Ring, everybody. It's really good. If you haven't already heard that from every fucking wrestling channel.
So Alex Marvez is talking to Hangman Alan Page with his followers. I mean, his friends, the Dark Order.
Yeah.
Because the Dark Order is just treating him like a leader now. And Hangman is
I
not
mean,
comfortable with it.
I mean, it kind of makes sense that they've latched onto him so hard after losing Brody, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's also sad because you know it's
We
gonna
lost our
end.
dad. Please be our new dad.
Because you know it's gonna end in heartbreak.
Mhm.
And basically he goes like, "Hey, Brian Cage, fight me."
Double or nothing, bitch.
Yeah, that's about it.
It's good.
It
It's a
was
solid
also
little-
Hangman like really putting it on paper of like, yeah, no, I don't want to fight for the title. I don't want to go up against Kenny Omega, but I do want to win. Just not against. I just don't. This is Kenny Omega. But winning, yes.
I like money, but I don't like money enough to confront my ex-partner.
I like money. I don't like money enough to confront my trauma and insecurities and anxiety and depression.
And it's like, fair enough, fair enough. Keep keep getting that cheddar out there, King, any way you can.
Speaking of cheddar, we have a very cheesy segment.
Yeah, the coronation of the pinnacle, baby.
I fucking love that
Where
segue. I nailed it.
the whole fucking group comes out. They're all wearing their suits and their ties and their Sunday best. MJF's wearing a fucking crown like the
John,
little King John. Like that's what it reminded me of from Robin Hood.
Disney.
Like that kind of dickhead shit. Um, and they've got a bunch of sexy ladies with them, and there's some balloons around the ring, and there's a podium. It's the whole thing. And MJF gets on the mic. He starts talking about, yeah, we fucking kicked the crap out of the inner circle. We're the best. We won the match. We're great. And Tully Blanchard is like, yeah, you guys are great. Here's some watches. Look at this. Expensive shit. Old school. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
and then um, I'm trying to think what the actual sequence of events was. Um, Sammy and I believe it was Jake start honking, and you don't realize it's them right away unless you're fucking a smart human person. Um,
A
and they're
smart
like,
human person.
yeah, what is that? What is that honking? What's going on? So the camera pans over to the big entrance ramp by the side of the stadium.
Which is
And
also
there's
the way how you get into the seats. That's the same place.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's just the side of the auditorium. That's the place.
Okay, I thought everybody entered through like the center or something.
No, you enter through there and you find your seats, because that's also where the entrance gate is, and that's also where the gift shop is. That's also where the food.
Concession stand.
Yes.
That's awesome now that I know that. But Sammy's there. He's on, I'm assuming, a rebuilt version of his go-kart, because if you remember, that was destroyed in the fucking deletion. But it's all souped up, and it's got an Inner Circle logo on it, and it's got a little trailer. It's got a little trailer. Wonder what's up with that trailer. They pull up, and they're
There's a
basically
water
like,
gun.
all right, Max, one last chance. You gonna give us another match? No, fuck no, I'm not doing that. And so Jericho pops up from the back, and he's like, well, then sorry not sorry. And they start spraying him with, it's obviously just water, but they play it up like it's the
Bubbly.
fucking the champagne. It's a little bit of the bubbly. It's the bubbly express. They said like bubbly express or something like that on commentary. I'm a little miffed that no one actually in the promo said it.
Yeah.
Cause like Jericho was like, oh, this could be a fucking toy. Let's make a bubbly express.
Here's the
I
thing.
want
I don't
that
think anybody
box
thought
set.
of the idea until they said it on commentary.
Mm. But it's clearly like the Austin with the beer truck type thing, and they spray
Or
down the whole inner
Angle with the
circle.
milk.
Yeah, which was a parody of Austin with the beer truck. Um,
I just want to be
and
respectful of the past. Come on.
I know. And of course, Pinnacle sell it like motherfuckers. They sell it like the class acts that they are, and it looked great. And finally, Max gets up and he goes, "All right, fine. You can have your match at Double or Nothing, but it's Stadium Stampede." And Jericho just looks at the camera like, "Oh shit," because remember, Inner Circle lost the first Stadium Stampede.
Yep, but
Good
that's
continuity, bringing back a AEW homegrown match type and something that they're probably only going to have that one more chance to do, at least for a little while.
yep. I mean, they always own they always have access to the stadium. They can do it whenever, but like for it to make
This is the
sense.
only time where it'll be super easy for a little while because they're going to start touring again.
Yep. But I don't know if it's shoot or work, but Jericho is supposed to be injured for 4 weeks. That's why he's in arms in the sling.
Yeah, I had a big old arm brace.
Yeah, arm brace. Uh, I thought it was good. I thought it was nice.
Yeah, it was a solid segment. It wasn't like blow you away kind of promo work, but it accomplished everything it set out to. And even though it did come off as a tad derivative, I did like all the little callbacks and stuff to classic kind of big segments and stuff like that with the bubbly express and like the here's an expensive gift from your manager type stuff.
Yep. But after that, we have another kind of old schooly style segment of Jim Ross just sitting down interviewing Dr. Britt Baker D&D and basically go like, "Hey, so you're going for the title belt?" And she's like, "Yep, I'm amazing. I'm great. I'm awesome." That's pretty much it.
Yeah. It was a solid little segment. She talks about everything she's done in AEW so far, the journey she's had. She's had multiple matches with Sheeta and she's grown in between them. Like I didn't realize that, but this match at Double or Nothing is gonna technically be the capper on their trilogy,
Yeah.
her and Sheeta, because they had a match at and they talk about this. They had a match at the Nightmare Factory in one of those shows, and that's that match where she got broken on her got her nose broken, blood all over her face. It was the first of the now multiple iconic bloody Britt Baker shots. Um, and then they had another rematch after she came back from injury. And now it's going to be a title match, and that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. And it also fed nicely into this next match. Our women's match for the week is Thunder Rosa versus Jasmine Allure, who I was actually kind of excited to see. I've been low key keeping an eye on Jasmine Allure because she's been on Dark and Elevation for a little while now, and she really strikes me as potentially the next Anna Jay. Like she's got that kind of aura, that kind of up and comer who really gets the basics thing about her, and she's got a great look too. Like she's got a really solid brand locked in. And so to see her finally make her Dynamite debut was really exciting, especially because it's against Thunder Rosa, and they're putting over on commentary, hey, Britt Baker just had a whole ass promo, and she didn't mention Thunder Rosa, who's kind of been her arch nemesis this year once. She never brought up Thunder Rosa.
Yeah,
Um,
Jim Ross did bring it up. It's like, "Oh yeah, you fought Thunder Rosa." It's like, "Yeah, but I'm off. I'm trying to get the belt. Don't." Meh.
mhm. And so Thunder Rosa comes out, does a AEW style squash, and eventually hits a Fire Thunder driver and pins Jasmine. Another little tick in that win box. So hey, you may get the title at Double or Nothing, but I'll be right behind your ass for it.
Yep. And Thunder Rosa is also going for the NWA Women's title, who is currently held by Serena Deeb, who next week will be going up against Red Velvet.
That's I don't think we've gotten that matchup before, so I'll be excited to see how that goes down.
Yeah. We're also getting Young Bucks versus Varsity Blondes next week, Christian Cage versus Matt Sydal, and Anthony Ogogo versus Austin Gunn. It's going to be great to see Austin Gunn.
Yes. Oh man, I can't wait to see a singles match of Austin Gunn, that goofy motherfucker. Let's go.
Also, I'm pretty sure next week we're having different times, like because of scheduling conflicts on TNT.
There's some basket bail or something like that.
So we're not sure when Dynamite. I'm not sure when Dynamite's airing next week. We're gonna look it up. We're gonna figure out when to do MMWP live in relation to it and all. But hopefully, it shouldn't be too much of a different kind of thing.
Yeah. At worst, we can, because there's a part of me that wants to say Dynamite is on Friday next week.
No, there's
And
a Dynamite Friday the week of Double or Nothing.
Wow, so they're doing Dynamite and then the Fan Fest on Saturday and then Double or Nothing. That's going to be a brutal week for the roster.
Yep.
Hmm.
But they don't get many of those, so they have time to rest.
Yeah, every once in a great while that happens, which is pretty good compared to every like 3 weeks. Here's pay-per-view, here's access, here's pre-COVID with WWE.
Yeah.
But we then go to another backstage segment where Tony Schiavone is talking to Jade Cargill and bringing up the fact that on AEW Elevation this week, Mr. Smart Mark Sterling, attorney at law, comes up to Jade and says, "Hey, I got MJF a lot of money in his contract. I made sure he's a really well-treated talent in this company. I hear you're looking for a manager. Why don't we talk? Why don't we talk?" After one of Jade's matches on Elevation, and she went backstage with him, and we don't know what went down between them, but Jade basically said, like, yeah, there's a lot of people who have had conversations like that with me. A lot of people are interested in all this. I know how much all this is worth, but I also know that I like to handle things my way. So the search is still on for Jade Cargill's manager. I haven't made up my mind yet. Just keeping that plot thread going, that little thing, and that's interesting. I'm interested to see where that goes. However, honestly, especially after having watched the full Elevation segment, because I don't know if you watched that clip I put in your Discord server, link in the video description. But it came off as fucking hilarious how he's just like this corny, like, sleazeball businessman trying to talk to this like serious ass wrestler who doesn't give a shit. Like, I like that pairing a lot. I low key hope Mark Sterling gets the gig as her manager going forward, because that could be a lot of fun.
Especially because she's playing it off as, I'm not looking for a manager to work for, I'm working for a manager to work for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the boss of the situation. And with him, it feels like that could definitely be the vibe.
Yeah. Also, I just like Mark Sterling because he's the third host of the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, and he comes off as the most sane one out of those three guys.
Yeah, I mean, the other two are toy collectors.
Well, he's a toy collector too, but he's like in the middle of their different extremes.
That's the joke, is that toy collectors are weirdos.
Fuck you.
That's the joke. As you can see behind me, I have multiple figures and Hot Wheels.
Yeah, respect yourself, but also fuck you.
And also, I'm looking right at my Bob Ross fucking bobblehead.
Oh, I forgot you had a Bob Ross bobblehead. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely?
Have to have dark in order to show light.
So tell us about the main event.
It's just like in life.
Well, just like in life, it can be disappointing for the people going through it. Because we have Darby Allin with Sting in his corner going up against Miro. And buddy, this was fucking great because it's just Darby Allin throwing himself against a brick wall, trying to build cracks, and a crack or two forms, but not much else.
Mm-hmm.
This made Miro look like a fucking $1 million.
And just the fact that the whole time he's got that whole like angry notice me gimmick going on. Like he keeps screaming in Darby's face, "Am I underwhelming now? Am I underwhelming now?" And you know he's talking to all the critics. He's talking to all the people because Darby had a video package just before the match where he's like, "All you've done is play video games and hang around with Kip Sabian. You say you're the best man, but what have you really done to prove that?" And you can buy that. Like Miro watched that backstage before his entrance, and he was like, I'm not just gonna take that kid's title. I'm gonna fucking make him respect me."
Yeah. And that's what ultimately this is a star-making performance for Miro because whether we like to admit it, Rusev had a lot of his star diminish near the end of his WWE run. Even though I'm pretty
Rusev was constant start and stop, honestly.
because I think we can speak. I can speak for both of us. We both liked Rusev. Rusev seemed cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just so sputtery. And then Miro, I liked the Miro stuff. I liked the best man. I liked the gaming. I liked the hype boy kind of vibes.
But apparently, general wrestling audiences don't.
Because here's the thing, I don't see it as like a changing character. I see it as like because you can tell those people in real life. You can see them in real life, and you know right underneath the it is the his character is Jake Paul, but taking the mask off.
Mm.
It's a Paul bro. Hey, look at me! I'm a happy go gamer. Ha! Pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. Why aren't you paying attention to me? Do I need to do something to make you pay attention to me? That's the character.
Yeah. And one thing I really love about this match is just Miro's gear because he's wearing shorts that are modeled after the TNT title. And I went into this fucking show thinking like, all right, it makes the most sense. SCU is going to get split up, and Miro's going to get the title. That's kind of what has to happen tonight.
Yep.
It's going to hurt me a little to see both those things, but that's what's got to happen. And then I saw him with those shorts, and I was like, oh, usually when somebody wears gear like that, it's an indication that they're a little too cocky, and they're not going to win the match because of that. So they fucking worked me, and until like the last sequence of the match, I was like, Darby's getting a comeback. Darby's going to get a comeback and just barely retain.
Yeah.
Until he didn't. And it was like, oh, they actually did the thing. Okay, cool. Smart booking.
They did the thing. They did the other thing too. But like, goddamn, just seeing Darby slowly just like break down and just like throughout the whole thing. And he's lying
and Sting's on the outside the whole time going like, come on, you can do it. I believe in you. Come on.
And like Darby's on the ropes. He's like spent. He knows he only has like one last gasp. He just looks at Sting, and Sting just looks at him and goes like, "You gotta do it, buddy." They fist bump, and the last gasp, the Hail Mary, he just does everything he possibly can, and Miro just goes like, "Nope." Here I am putting you in my finishing move. A modified finishing version of it. It's like, which also looks great. The whole on the back version stretching them.
Mm-hmm.
And Miro wins. Miro is our new TNT champion, fulfilling the prophecy.
TNT changed their bio on Twitter. It says Miro is our champion now.
Fulfilling the prophecy that Miro claimed forever ago at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
When he stole a TV monitor, going like, "I am now TV champion."
Oh man, imagine the timeline where WWE actually went with that gimmick.
God damn! Just imagine a timeline when WWE actually treated Miro as more than just like, "Oh yeah, you're one of us playing around," you know. It's like, no, you're a guy. You're one of the guys. You're one of the main guys. You know.
But in that timeline, we wouldn't have gotten this. So is it really that great? No. Honestly.
But damn, this is solid. This was a solid ass fucking. This is good star making.
This is a great way to end it, and we have 2 weeks left until Double or Nothing for them to build a title match for that show.
Goddamn, who could it be?
Miro comes out and starts gloating next week, and then Kip returns. Let's do babyface Kip for a week.
I want to see more of a build for Kip Sabian, maybe in the next pay-per-view. Trent.
Yeah! That's brilliant!
And he just goes like, I am Miro, I am unstoppable, I'm unbeatable. And Trent just comes out, goes like, I remember beating you at an Arcade Anarchy match, my friend.
Or you know what? No, I'm rethinking it. Hang on. Do Trent this time. Down the line, you know who should take the title off of him? Sexy Chucky T. Fucking young boy master.
That'd be fun. Or Orange Cassidy.
Don't do that for like 6 months.
Or Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy would be interesting too. No, but this was a solid week of wrestling.
Yeah. There were some major bumps in the road, but like it all worked out in the end, and it certainly did happen. I don't know. I didn't have anything poetic to say.
I'll have ice in my mouth.
Excellent. Well, you know what? I'll just say it one more time. New Jack's dead, and I'm gonna piss on that grave someday.
All right. So, any final words about Dynamite you can think of?
It's good. I liked it. Let's be a little more gentle with Orange Cassidy going forward. Cody, maybe workshop your promo a little more next time. Like, I love you, but Jesus, man.
New York, I love you, but you're bringing me down.
Fucking mood.
No, I pretty much agree. But, yeah, the Dynamite was solid. So, hey, V-Man, V-Dog, Big Viddy V, Viddly Boo, Beep Bop Bida Bop, V-Man, V-Mon.
Yes. Did you want something, or were you just ridiculing me?
Tell the people where they can find your V's.
Hey, howdy everyone. My name is The Vacuuminator, and I make all kinds of content on the YouTube, or at least I did. I'm on hiatus right now, but I'll get back to it eventually. Probably, maybe, I don't know. Check me out at youtube.com/TheVacuuminator. That's spelled TAGVACUUMINATOR. I'm also on social media. You can find me at The Vacuuminator on Twitter and at _Vacuuminator on Instagram.
Alrighty, tidy. And also, you started copying my hey howdy howdy.
Yeah, that was deliberate. I was trying to fucking pop you.
Alright, scot-free. Hey! Hello. A deer, a doe, a female deer. Ray, a light golden sun. My name is Chris Boingo Ryder Gaston. I make video essay and editorial content on the YouTubes. You can find me at Boingo Ryder. You can type it in the search bar. It's super fucking easy. It's great. You can also find me on the Twitter and the Instagram at Boingo_Ryder. You gotta remember that underscore because it's important. I post things when I want. And as always, you can join my Discord server. We talk about toys, we talk about wrestling, we talk about television, we talk about anything we want to talk about because it's my Discord server. Yeah. And nothing else on my part, but hey, what?
Are you going to make me plug the modular things, or are you going to do
I'm
that?
about to do it right now.
Okay. I was concerned. I thought you were about to end the show.
No. Modular. Hey, we make a bunch of podcasts. This is one of them. It's Modular Media Wrestling Podcast. If you're listening to this on YouTube, fucking click that subscribe. Click that like. Leave a comment. Tell us how much we suck. Tell how much we're good. Tell us how much you spend on rice in a year.
Do we have voicemail capabilities on this show yet?
We do. If you go to our anchor link, which is in the top of the fucking description, you can find where all this podcast is on podcasting platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, other places too. And if you're on any of those, fucking click that follow button, and you'll get the rest of them. Fucking how great is that, bruh?
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
How are we going to work out the logistics of playing voicemails on this show?
Eventually, if we ever get any of them, I'll just have them on my computer and I'll play them for you. It's like,
Sick.
yeah. But no, if you go to the Anchor link, you'll find the button that says like, "Hey, leave a voice message." You can leave a voice message telling us how much you like the show, telling us how much you hate the show, telling us your opinions on certain wrestlers. It'd probably be a bad idea to tell us what your opinions are on a wrestling show, unless it's like right after the show before we do this one. Like you can do that.
Ask us who we think should be champion next. Ask us, feed more into our addiction to fantasy booking on this show. Fucking do that for me, please.
But that's Modular Media. If you are into tokusatsu, i.e. live action special effects stuff from Japan, you can go follow Twit on the variety of podcasting platforms. You can also find it on Modular Media YouTube channel, where Vac here talks to Miriam of Buster Core, a growing member of the internet tokusatsu community, as they talk about tokusatsu throughout the week. We also have another show called Modular Components, where me, Vac, anybody who wants to show up who we work with, including Snowcone, who's also a member of Modular, and Miriam, who is a friend of the show, we come in, we just bring in a thing we want to talk about and go like, hey, Digimon.
Shoot the shit.
Hey, Digimon.
We shit the shoot.
Hey, toys. Hey, Fortnite. Want to talk about Fortnite? We made an episode about Fortnite.
Yeah, that was a thing.
And if you want to follow that on YouTube, again, it's just subscribe to the channel. You'll get 4 podcasts for the price of 1 click. How amazing is that? What a great deal!
Goddamn week. I'm on all of these shows every goddamn week. Subscribe and listen to them so that my life isn't a total fucking waste. Please. I'm not bitter at all. I'm just tired. It's late.
Hey, I'm on 3 of those podcasts, buddy. And I'm working on a 4th. Come on, man. Speaking of the 4th podcast, we have Modular Media's No Price podcast, which we talked about earlier, where we talk about Marvel Comics, Marvel movies, Marvel toys, Marvel merch, Marvel. That's a Martha joke from
DC.
NDC with the Distinguished Competition. Indie books as well. We talk about a variety of things. Right now we're in between MCU projects, so we're just talking about a bunch of legacy shit. Like, we did Silver Surfer Parable. We did the animated Phoenix Saga. Next episode, as the time of this creation, is Spider-Man Unlimited. That's going to be dope. It's going to be sick. We're about to record it after we're done, even though it's 1:30 in the goddamned morning.
How much longer can you make the ending of this fucking podcast go?
I don't know. Do you want to find out?
Not really.
All right, then that was wrestling for the week. This has been MMWP, a member of Modular Media. Again, like, comment, subscribe, engage, do the things. Do you have any final words about wrestling?
Algorithms.
Wrestling.
Algorithms.
Algorithms. Till next week, folks.
Bye.